Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I thought that'd sound cooler because like chainsaw will go brr, but electric chainsaw stroke having electric chainsaw, uh, not not as cool sounding, but it did the job. Anyways, with that being said, I wanted to do a little pre-spring update. It's currently March 20. Oh my God, it's already spring technically. Spring started here on the 20th. I wanted to do a little pre-spring update. I guess is this the first day of spring, but also go over a little bit about what happened to some of these trees. That there was a frost down here. It got down to 20 degrees was the lowest recorded that I recorded while we were down here. Um, which for this area that never happens. It never gets below freezing around here. This is like once in a generation sort of freeze for this area. But as you guys have probably seen in my last videos, the reason I built this place and the reason I planted these trees is because they need to survive freezing temperatures, because it's starting to happen a lot more even where we are, and they also need to deal with extreme drought, which we are currently in, which that sucks. So I'm going to show you guys some of the trees, how they're doing for the small orchard. I'll also be releasing a video going over the new orchard that I just put in. I put in roughly 30 trees recently within the past couple months. So that's really exciting. But yeah, let's get into the trees and see how they did. So the first tree we're going to go over is my blue Java banana tree. I got it as a blue Java ice cream tree or vanilla ice cream, whatever else that other tree is. So I don't know which one this is because those are two separate banana trees. But with that being said, the one that I had in here that I just chopped down, it did not do so well. It froze all the way through. Thankfully, though, the rhizome, which actually produces pups, was perfectly fine, and the two pups that I have here were they froze back all the way. As you can see, some of these leaves are still damaged, but they're coming back nice and green. So the good news is those pups are perfectly fine. I'll throw some fertilizer on them, and they're going to be perfectly fine and pop back up. Thankfully, this pup right here is close to the same size as the one that I had to chop down from last year. So yeah, it sucks, but good news is I've already got one that is close to the same size as the one that I started with that was already in the ground. And moving on next, this is my Arctic Frost Satsuma, and it's doing really, really well. I was really, really worried. I should have taken photos. I may have a couple from when it actually, the freeze, the day after the freeze. This guy lost every single leaf on here. All of these leaves have come back within probably less than a month. I'm very, very surprised and very happy with this tree because I thought it was totally dead. The Arctic frost is supposed to survive down to like 15 degrees from what I've seen, but that's still for more mature tree. This tree is, I think when I got it, it was maybe a year or two old, so not that old. So it was going into year 3 trying to survive a frost that got down to 20 degrees. Cool thing is, all these leaves came back. I've even got a small Satsuma coming in. So this will be the first time this tree's actually flowered, bloomed, and may produce fruit. So that's really cool. Moving down the line, we've got my two Fahoa trees, or pineapple guavas, depending on what you want to call them. They're doing perfectly fine. They lost no leaves. They didn't even look like they were hurt whatsoever. So that's cool. And it looks like I'm actually getting some flowers on these Fahoas. That'll be the first time I've actually got flowers, which would be cool because that'll also hopefully lead to fruit. It is interesting that the tree, or the bush, I guess, that is the smallest of the two is the one that has flowers on it, but beggars can't be choosers. I am perfectly fine with that. Now on to my Texas peach. I'm a little bit worried about this one, not because peaches are notorious for dying in frosts. I mean, they grow peaches up north. Usually they require some sort of chill hour. But this guy started putting on a lot of green growth after the initial frost that killed off a lot of this stuff. And then this past week, we got down to freezing here. So it sucks because everything started blooming, coming out, and then everything got frozen again. And it looks like a lot of stuff died off. Hopefully it comes back. We'll have to wait and see. Now moving on to my Melchi plum. This guy's doing totally fine. He gets eaten by deer 24/7, sadly. So he's really fighting for his life, but he's always got flowers no matter what, or not flowers, he's always got leaves no matter what time of the year it is. So he's totally fine. He's just fighting off deer and there's not much I can do about it. We've got a fence, but deer can jump easily over that fence. So we'll see how it goes. And then this one is a Albert, that's what it is. Albert's peach tree. This one I had growing at my house for the past year. So it's probably going into its second year. And I planted it this February, and you can tell it is already thriving really well down here since it's already got some nice green popping out of it. Sadly, I didn't do too much research whenever I got these two peach trees, and I should have. I just thought, hey, they're at a local nursery. They should be able to produce. Not true. The Albert's peach is known for requiring anywhere from 600 to 800 chill hours. And that really, really sucks because the average down here is about 400 if we're lucky, 300 to 400. So I still planted it because I've taken care of it for a year, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, there's been crazier things that have happened, and I like to push the limit, so we'll see. And on to my pomegranate. This one, I really haven't done enough research to judge how well it handled the frost. I just was like, hey, it's a Texas pomegranate, let's get it. Because if you guys have never seen these videos before, all these trees that I'm showing you I planted last year, and I don't live here 24/7, so they had to survive the extreme Texas heat, and then they had to survive this past frost. So it was more just a lot of experimenting, and I wanted a pomegranate tree just to see and learn. Cool thing about this one, it is obviously doing freaking fantastic. There were no leaves on it probably a month ago, and now it's covered, and we've even got a small little pomegranate growing on the tree. So that's super, super cool. We got a couple last year, but they ended up falling off. So I'm hoping this year, now that it's more established, it's going to do a lot better. On to my weird obsession, which is my fig trees. Fig trees are known for being pretty cold hardy, but like I said, it did get down to 20 degrees. That's tough. This is my Marseilles Black VS. Pretty cool fig tree. It came from obviously France in the Marseilles region, and a guy that was deployed over there during World War II. He had a wife back home that really was into gardening, so he took a bunch of cuttings from fig trees in France and brought them back over to, I believe it was Oregon? No, it was Washington. And he and his wife started planting, and that's where this fig tree came from. I was able to get a cutting off that tree. So really cool history, really cool tree. And as you can tell, it's struggling a little bit, but that is solely just due to the fact that we got that recent freeze. It started growing, doing perfectly fine, and then we got freezing again after we had 90-degree temperatures for several weeks. So this guy's gonna be totally fine. A little bit crispy, nothing crazy. He'll come back eventually and he'll be all right. Now onto this one. This one is a unknown fig I got from my buddy Miles. He's the real reason why I got into this weird obsession. Whenever I learn something new, I go 110%, and I learned that figs have 10,000 different varieties and yada, yada, yada. No bueno. But with that being said, sadly, this one is not doing great. It's been quite a while. I've left it alone, and it's completely died back. I've checked. You do a little test wherever. What you do is you go up to the bark and you scratch it, and if there's no green, means it's probably dead. And sadly, this guy has no green. I've checked on him several times in several different areas, but I'm going to leave it alone. The reason being is fig trees are trees, but a lot of them also grow like bushes. So a lot like what happened to my Celeste, which I'll show you over here. this guy may just pop out of the ground and be perfectly fine. So I don't want to replace him just yet. I'm going to give him several months just to see what happens. Maybe he'll pop out of the ground and we'll be good to go from there. This is another one that did not do so hot. Sadly, it is one of my bigger trees too. It is a CDA, which is a Constantine D. Algeri. I always mess it up, but if you want to look it up, it's CDA. Sadly, as you can tell, this guy's just got a lot of frost damage on the tips. And unlike the other trees that were slowly waking up before this freeze that once again killed off all the leaves, he did not. And you can tell the bark on it is just a little bit wrinkled. If I can get the actual camera to, there you go. It's nice and wrinkled, and sadly that is not a good sign. But once again, it did the scratch test and a lot of it is coming back to where it's brown. But like I said with the last one, I'm going to keep it in the ground, see what happens. It's one of my bigger trees, one of the older trees I've had. I pruned off a lot of the really bad damage, and we'll have to wait and see. Now on to the smallest of the figs currently, and that would be my Celeste tree. Now, as you can tell, that one that is going up the pole right here was the initial one, and it completely died back during the last frost. And I pruned it, and then I went ahead and let it do its thing, and it started popping up all over the place. Sadly, though, that frost happened again, and it killed off all the new growth. But everything is still green, and there's even new growth on the side here, so I'm not too worried about it by any means. It should pop back up. A Celeste is a commercial fig, so it's pretty hardy, pretty tough to kill. I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. Now on to my LSU purple fig, and this one, a really cool fig. It's from the LSU program, and they did a lot of propagating and creating new fig cultivars and all sorts of stuff. Really cool program if you want to nerd out. And it is a combination of a Celeste and another fig. I don't remember which one it was, but this guy's obviously doing great. He has the crispiness from the most recent freeze, but as you can tell, he's already popping back up, doing perfectly fine, so I'm not worried about him whatsoever. This guy was the last to produce figs last year, but he produced a lot, so I'm not too worried about him. He's going to be perfectly fine. So yeah, with that being said, I'll leave you guys there. Just wanted to give you a little update. Like I said, I have not been doing anything with this area. We don't live down here 24/7, so it is a pretty cool experiment that I've been running to have all these trees, and I've only had to replace one, which is that peach tree that I showed y'all in the middle. So having everything automated on irrigation, and then I just help prune and keep it clean whenever I come down here, and it survived for a whole year now is freaking awesome. And we've already been eating off of these trees, so that's really cool. It does suck that the frost killed off a lot of stuff, but thankfully a lot of things are coming back, so that's good to see. But besides that, I've been super happy. And oh, for those who are curious, I didn't do anything originally. The frost was probably a month and a half ago at this point, the really bad one that lasted a week at least. I left these trees completely alone for the past month and a half. And the reason being is you don't know what's dead and what's alive, and you don't want to start pruning too early. But on top of that, if you prune something that's alive, thinking that it died back, and now the tree can't actually get any sunlight, you're doing more damage than you are good. So leave them alone if this ever happens to you for quite a while, and then do a damage assessment month and a half later. And who knows, something that you thought was completely dead, like my Satsuma, may be completely alive. So yeah, besides that, I'm really happy with the whole area. Excited to see everything come back and start growing and actually start eating stuff this year. So that'll be fun to see. With that being said, like I said, I've got a whole bunch of trees there in the background that I just got done planting over the past couple months, clearing the land and everything. So I'll be releasing a video on that within the next couple weeks and describing everything, going over the varieties that I planted, a bunch of new trees, and I planted everything down there or here so that we will now have year-round fruit. I'll explain how I did all that. But besides that, you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.